Today, I'm taking over Man United for the next 10 seasons. They might be better this year, but let's be honest, they're not the United of old. How do Man United still star Harry Maguire every week? But don't you worry, I'm bringing them back to the very top by winning countless of trophies, but also winning them a treble to make them the world's best team. And as Manchester United sit in 6th place in real life, they do have an amazing squad. Superstar striker in Benjamin Sesko, their best player in Brian Mbeumo, and even some young talents like Vini Jr and Amad Diallo. But in this takeover, our goal is to win as many trophies as possible to try and go ahead and make Man United the GOAT club. And as you can see, we have a multitude of tiers, and all these tiers are decided by trophies, including individual awards like the Golden Boot and the Ballon d'Or. So the question is, where will Man United end up? And of course, we will be doing other takeovers. Make sure you subscribe and comment down below what team you want to see next. However, in season number 1, there are 3 issues we need to solve before we start winning trophies. And the first one is going to be tactics. We do have a lot of talented players in the starting 11, as well as in the bench and even in the reserves. And we need to go ahead and find the perfect formation to fit them all in. The second issue we must solve is get rid of players who don't match the United quality. And for example, someone like Luke Shaw is no longer up to standards, so we must get rid of him. But of course, there will also be other players we must get rid of. And of course, the final thing to do is to go ahead and bring in transfers to help us begin to win trophies. This team may have some talent, but if we ever want to get to the elite level or even world's best level, we need to go ahead and sign some superstars. Okay, when it comes to the tactics, I want to go ahead and put the team around 3 players at this club. And those players are Kobe Mainu, Vini Jr, and of course, our best player in Brian Mbeumo. And boys, I have found the perfect formation in the 4-3-3 defend, where Kobe Mainu will be the main playmaker, Brian Mbeumo will be cutting inside to attack, and Vini Jr will be that right-sided defender. So now with the tactics out of the way, let's go ahead and get rid of all the deadwood. And these are the 4 players I deemed I need to move on from the club. Bruno Fernandes is still at the level of Man United, but at 30 years old and we do not have a center attacking mid, I think it's time to capitalize on his price. So controversially, Bruno Fernandes has left the club to join Man City, and he has joined for 53 million. Well, we got rid of the rest of the deadwood that I transfer listed. And that does give us a humongous 228 million to spend on our third issue, which is transfers. Now, when it comes to signing players, this is currently our best starting 11, and I need to figure out what positions we do need. Well, the first thing I need to do is convert Matheus Cunha full-time into a left winger as he's maintained his overall. However, he isn't the only one, as I've also converted Amad Diallo to a right back. And yes, I know he dropped down to a 66 overall, but hear me out. We know Amad Diallo has insane potential, but at right wing, we currently have Mbeumo, and I don't want Diallo to rot on the bench. So for the next couple seasons, I'm going to loan him out until he gets his overall back to maybe his potential of 85. And trust me, he's going to be a superstar right back for Man United. But those are all the changes that we needed to make, and now we have a huge problem of squad depth. We don't even have reserves. So I think we need to go ahead and get 2 starting CDMs, as Ugarte and Casemiro are going to be our backups. We also need 2 backup wingers, as Matheus Cunha and Mbeumo are the only wingers in the side. And I also think we either need a starting or backup left back to go ahead and help Dorgu out. And guys, I think I found the 2 perfect double pivots to go ahead and help United, and that is Elliot Anderson and Adam Wharton. I'm telling you, alongside Jude Bellingham, these guys are the future of the English midfield. However, both of these players will cost upwards of 50 million, which does total upwards of 100 million, and that is half our budget. And luckily enough, I was able to make both signings under 70 million, as I brought in Elliot Anderson for 64 million and Adam Wharton for a total of 67 million. And as our 2 new pivots join the side, I think these guys are the perfect players to hold it down, so Kobe Mainu can go ahead and create chances. So then I went ahead and brought in the 2 wingers to back up Mbeumo and Cunha. For 13 million, I brought in Alex Iwobi from Fulham, and for 15 million, I brought in Champions League winner Marco Asensio from Fenerbahce. And as they now join the bench, notice I went for some experienced players instead of some youngsters. And that is because I want to keep Cunha and Mbeumo on their toes, and who knows, in the future we might sign the world's best young wingers in case we lose Cunha or Mbeumo. I'll explain that more in just a little bit. And the last player I need to go in for is a world-class left back, and that is Alejandro Grimaldo. And yes, I know he's 29 years old, but he needs to be world-class. And that is because every season we do not win a trophy here at Man United. We will have to release our best player at the club. But luckily, I was able to sign Grimaldo for 28 million, and this is what our starting 11 is looking like. It's looking so much better than the beginning, and I believe we can win trophies. So as I hired some of the best scouts in world football, let's see if we can win our first trophy, and also maybe a Ballon d'Or winner or a Golden Boot winner, as we're trying to take United up the tier years and maybe become the GOAT Club. And I have the chance to win my first ever trophy here at United in the FA Cup final against Bournemouth. And so far, we have not won a trophy this season as Liverpool won the Carabao Cup. And if we don't win this game or the Premier League when it ends, we will have to release our best player in our team. But regardless, it's a 3-0 victory as Asensio and Mbeumo scores a double to give us our first trophy. And Benjamin Sesko was our top goal scorer this season with 20 goals. But Brian Mbeumo and Matheus Cunha absolutely cooked as well. This front three is going to be generational. And the growth of our squad is looking absolutely phenomenal. Our entire front three almost at an 85 and up. And not a single player in our starting 11 is below an 80 overall. However, they're not the only ones as Amad Diallo has gained a lot of his overall back. He still has one more season out on loan. He could become our starting right back very soon. Unfortunately, none of our players won the Golden Boot, so we don't get a trophy. And we did finish in a decent position in 6th place. I believe we have Europa League football because of our FA Cup win. But you know what? One trophy in season 1 is not bad, but we have a long way if we ever want to make United the GOAT Club and potentially win them a treble. And to kick off season number 2, Barcelona have activated the clause to sign Rashford on the permanent deal as he leaves United. And speaking of players leaving, I've also made a huge transfer list of players that came back from loan that should be leaving the club. So that's exactly what I've done and gotten rid of a lot of the deadwood again. And that leaves us with 250 million to spend once again. And when it comes to this team, you know it's one for the future, but of course, we need to win trophies now if we want to become a GOAT tier club. So I think we need a world-class starting goalkeeper over Lamens, another world-class center back that could play next to Lenny Euro, and controversially, a world-class striker to compete with Benjamin Sesko, because winning Golden Boots will also add to our trophy tally. And quickly, I have brought in 2 world-class signings to Manchester United. For 25 million, I brought in an 85 overall Emiliano Martinez, and for 73 million and 85 overall Mickey Van de Ven. And of course, that now leaves us 130 million to try and find a world-class striker to compete with Sesko. And now, boys, I have found 3 options. I'm not sure who to choose though. The first option we do have is Serhou Guirassy from Dortmund. At 30 years old, he's in his prime. The second option is Ademola Lookman, who is at Benfica right now. He still has some time to grow and is very close to his prime. Or the final option, should we get Nick Voltemade? So I have made my decision, and for 50 million, I'm bringing in the world-class Serhou Guirassy. He's already 30 years old, but by the time he downgrades, Sesko will be ready to lead the line for Manchester United. So this is what the squad is looking like now. It's looking even better than last season. But we need to make sure we continue to win trophies to climb up the ranks. But more importantly, not lose our best player next season. And yes, I have made the right signing. 40 goals and 48 appearances for Guirassy. Surely he won our first Golden Boots. But 18 and 18 for both our wingers. While Elliot Anderson, Kobe Mainoo, and even Adam Wharton got amongst the assists, Sesko still had a pretty decent season. And just take a look at the growth of the side. Brian Mbeumo is our highest rated player. But not only him, the likes of Guirassy, Mainoo, Wharton, Cunha, and even Grimodo are all in Ballon d'Or territory, so maybe we can start winning some. But I just hope we want some trophies. If not, Mbeumo is gone from the club. And sadly, we failed to win the Premier League, but hey, we're back in the Champions League. And we lost in the final of the Community Shield, man. Come on. And oh no, we lost the FA Cup, and we also lost the Carabao Cup, which means if we did not win the Europa League, Mbeumo will be released from the club. And no, Napoli end up winning the trophy as we got knocked out in the semis. We have to release Brian Mbeumo. And yes, boys, this is terrible news, but 89 overall Brian Mbeumo will now be leaving the side as we released him for 5 million. But at least there's good news. Amad Diallo went up a +9 to an 82. He's become a superstar in the Saudi League and will start for us next season. But not only that, we get our first Golden Boot winner, which adds to our trophy cabinet. But remember, we must win a team trophy. That's why Mbeumo got released earlier. But unfortunately, none of our players win the Ballon d'Or as it goes to Haaland. I feel like we're gonna see this a lot. As we now have 2 trophies in 2 seasons, we really need to start picking things up. And we have arrived to season number 3 as Amad Diallo is now the brand new starting right back as he's overtaken Diego Dallo and Mazraoui. And I've actually decided to change the formation to a 4-3-3 attack because if we want to have Ballon d'Or winners, we need as many attackers as possible. So Mainoo must convert to a cam. And our captain has now been converted. Did go down a -2, but don't worry, he will recover that. But now when it comes to signings, it's very clear what we do need. We need a brand new world-class right winger to replace the outgoing Mbeumo, a backup center attacking mid to compete with Kobe Mainoo, and another backup center mid as we only have Mason Mount. But before I make transfers, I've gone ahead and sold even more deadwood players that just don't belong here anymore. And that's given us 360 66 million to spend on our 3 targets. So with those funds, I brought in 2 great backups in Conor Gallagher for 30 million, and for 41 million, I brought back Joao Felix to the Premier League, which thus leaves us plenty of money to sign Mbeumo's replacement. And boys, do I have 2 incredible options for you. There is Ballon d'Or winner Ousmane Dembele, who's at a 91 overall, but the second option is Mikel Olise, who's already at an 89 and is probably a future Ballon d'Or winner. But the question is, do I want to go ahead and prioritize the future or bring in somebody who's in their absolute prime? And I have made my decision. I'm bringing in Ousmane Dembele for 100 million. Yes, he's 30 years old, but if I want to win trophies, golden boots, and Ballon d'Ors, I have to bring in the better player. And I can't lie, our team now is looking absolutely unstoppable. I think we might go ahead and win multiple trophies this year and might get our first Ballon d'Or winner. And who knows, maybe even complete the treble as of season number 3. And what a surprise, Elliot Anderson was a top goal scorer of the club, tied with Sesko at 19 each. While the rest of the players, Gudasi and Cunha, got 12, Grimaldo with 10, but Ousmane Dembele really let me down this season. And man, these players just continue to grow. That Sesko is now at an 88. That means he will be starting again. And Sonny Lamins has overtaken Emiliano Martinez, which means he's back in the starting 11. Of course, Ousmane Dembele has retained his rating, but we have so many players at this club that are 88 overall, man. Things are looking good so far. But unfortunately, we did not get a golden boot winner. That means we're still with 3 trophies, nowhere near any tier. But yes, we have won our first Premier League title by 20 points. That's a hefty amount. And sadly, we did not win the FA Cup. We also missed out on the Carabao Cup, man. And when it came to the Champions League, we did not reach the final as we got knocked out in the quarters to Atletico de Madrid. But regardless, we get our first Ballon d'Or winner in Ousmane Dembele. Low-key, it's a robbery as Dembele is the first induction to the Takeover Hall of Fame. And this Hall of Fame will be filled by every Ballon d'Or winner in every Takeover for the rest of FC26. And because of that robbery, we now have 4 trophies, but we're still far away from even getting to a world-class tier club. We need to start winning trophies very quickly. And to kick off season number 4, I've made a controversial decision, and I've sold Matheus Cunha to RB Leipzig for 70 million. And that is because I have to be harsh and we need to start winning trophies. And I'm going to use all 240 million to sign one of the world's best left wingers. But it's not that simple because the 2 best left wingers are in my short list. The first one being Rodrigo, who's now playing at Man City. I can weaken our rivals and get all the trophies, or I can go for the world's best left winger in Vinicius Jr. and he can also carry us to trophies. And I have made my decision for 180 million. I've gone for Vinicius Jr, the 92 overall. It's a lot of money, it's a lot of pressure, but I know he can handle it, win us trophies, and have us climb up the rankings. Vinicius Jr has now joined the starting 11, and there is no way we go ahead and win 0 trophies. We need to win more than 1 this season, man. And at the end of the season, things are not looking good as Bradley Barcola won the Golden Boot. And you have to scroll a long while before you see a Man United player in Ousmane Dembele. And yeah, boys, in terms of all competitions, Dembele had 18 and Vini with 16. Are they not performing good enough, or do we have too many superstars, man? And it doesn't help that Benjamin Sesko had an injury along the way. Regardless, the squad continues to grow as Adam Wharton and Elliot Anderson have joined the 90 squad, and everybody in the starting 11 is above an 85 overall. But now, if we didn't win a single trophy, Ousmane is the one that gets released because he has a Ballon d'Or win. And it's not good so far as Liverpool have beaten us to the Premier League title. But yes, Ousmane does not get released as we win the Community Shield, but we failed to win the FA Cup and we lost in the final of the Carabao Cup. How is this team not winning more trophies? And in the Champions League, once again, we don't win as we got knocked out in the round of 16. But this time, there was no robbery as a player by the name of Toussaint has won the Ballon d'Or, a 93 overall striker that plays for Real Madrid. And I'ma be honest, 5 trophies in 4 seasons is not good enough. We need to change things if we ever want to climb up the ranks, but more importantly, also win the treble. And to kick off season number 5, I've decided to make a change here by changing the formation to a 4-2-2 and having 2 strikers up top. And yes, that means Vinicius Jr will be playing as a number 9, while Ousmane Dembele will be the right center attacking mid in hopes that we can get a Golden Boot winner as well as a Ballon d'Or winner here. This team is looking way too good. I think we had an off season, so there will be no signings as of this year. And so far, my plan has worked as Vinicius Jr has gotten 30 goals and 9 assists, and Sesko got 27 as well, while Kobe Mainu, Elliot Anderson, and Ousmane Dembele all had great seasons. And this squad is just absolutely incredible. Almost the entire starting 11 is at a 90 overall, except Grimaldo. He started to go down, so we must replace him next season. But it's a great start so far as Vinicius wins his first Golden Boot. And yes, we've won the Premier League once again, but we failed to win the FA Cup, which means the treble ain't on. And we lose in the final to Arsenal in the Carabao Cup. That could have have been 2 trophies, man. But boys, we're in the Champions League final. So far, we've won 2 trophies. Can we go ahead and make it 3? But this Arsenal side is not one to mess around with. 28 for Saka, 22 for Eberechi Eze, and 18 for Jonathan Duran. But the question is, can we win our first Champions League? Can this team go ahead and do it? And it's a 2-1 victory, as Gurasi and Anderson give us our Champions League trophy. And that Champions League win has given us our second Ballon d'Or winner as he joins the Takeover Hall of Fame. As we do now have 9 trophies to our name, we're getting close to that world-class tier, man. Things are taking a turn. And we have arrived to season number 6, and this squad is just the best in the world. However, we do need to go ahead and sign a new left back because Grimaldo is at 34. And if we do have the funds left, I think we need a backup / future replacement for Ousmane Dembele, as he's now 33 years old. But with 153 million, I think we're gonna have space for only one signing. And I think the left back we need to go for is another Leverkusen Spanish left back, and that is Alejandro Balde. He is probably the world's best fullback. So for 85 million, we have brought in the man from La Masia, and 87 overall, Alejandro Balde. But not only have I brought in Balde for 50 million plus Grimaldo, I've brought in an 87 rated Franco Mastantuono, who will be the future replacement for Ousmane Dembele. And somehow I've made this team even better. I'm so ready to continue to win more trophies, and maybe even the treble this season. And this time it's Ousmane Dembele who's the top goal scorer with 26. But as you can see, he's already starting to go down. But it was a great season for the rest of the squad as everybody's getting involved in goals. But you're not going to believe this. Franco Mastantuono has gone up to a 92 overall. I swear his potential is not that high. But he isn't the only one growing, as Benjamin Sesko is also at a 90. Kobe Mainu at a 91. Basically, the entire starting 11, except 3 of our players, are above a 90. However, when it comes to the Golden Boot, Ousmane Dembele misses out by 7 goals. Nick Votamalde winning it. And yes, it's back-to-back Premier League wins for United. And they also win the Community Shield. That is huge. And the FA Cup also goes to United. That means the treble is on. And they also win the Carabao Cup. This could be the year they win it all, man. And they also get the UEFA Super Cup in. That is 5 trophies in 1 season, 1 away from becoming a world-class side. And boys, they're in the Champions League final, the chance to complete the treble, the chance to secure world-class status. But of course, it won't be easy with the likes of Osimhen, Rodrigo Mora, Lamine Yamal, and Ansu Fati dominating for them. But the question is, can we go ahead and do it? Can we go ahead and win a Champions League again? No, we lose, as Pedro and Rooney deny us our second Champions League. But regardless, we get a 3rd Ballon d'Or winner, and that's Vinicius Jr. As that now gives us 15 trophies, and we have made Man United a world-class side. But with 4 seasons left to go, getting to the world's best and even GOAT status is still possible. And to kick off season number 7, I made a controversial decision to sell Benjamin Sesko to Chelsea for 158 million. Even though he was a 90 overall, he has not yet won the Golden Boot. And yes, that means I'm gonna go out there and look for a striker. The player I've decided to get for a straight swap with Ousmane Dembele is an 88 rated Nick Votamalde. Yes, I know he's lower rated than Sesko and Dembele, but he won the Golden Boot last year, and that's what I need in my club. And as Votamalde has joined the side, I hope that we can continue to win trophies and Ballon d'Ors, and I didn't make the wrong decision. And yes, I knew I made the right signing. Votamalde has won back-to-back. Oh my days, he's absolutely shining in all competitions with 44 goals. And Amad Diallo, I knew we made the right decision making him a right back. And no, boys, we were so close to our entire side having a 90+ overall team, but Lenny Euro is keeping us behind. But yes, we've won the Premier League for a 3rd year in a row, and we have also won back-to-back Community Shields. We have won the FA Cup again, maintaining us in that treble race, and the Carabao Cup as well. 5 trophies in total, getting us to 20. 5 trophies away from getting to the elite club. And boys, once again, we're in the Champions League final, but this time against Bilbao. We have to win the treble this time around. But interestingly, I may be wrong, as Solis is the top goal scorer of the Champions League, and he does have 28 goals in all comps. And this guy named Haugland, is this Haaland 2.0, has 26? They have a bunch of strikers that have 10+ goals, man. But the question is, can we win our second Champions League as Vini is suspended? But surely this Man United side should still be able to do it, and it's a 2-0 loss as Tresodi and Camarda score both goals, and we failed to win the treble so far. And to the surprise of nobody, Votamalde wins our 4th Ballon d'Or, getting added to the Takeover our Hall of Fame. And now that is 21 trophies to our name, 3 seasons left to go. Can we go ahead and exceed world class and become the GOATs? But remember, only one club can be part of the GOATs. And at the end of season number 8, Vinicius Jr. won a golden boot. That adds another trophy. And yes, we're here because I didn't make any signings. And what a season he really had with 44 goals and 13 assists. He is starting to go down in overall. It might be time to replace him soon. But 23 and 20 for Elliot Anderson, 15 and 7 for Mainu, and 15 and 2 for Baltimade. And somehow, someway, Euro has yet to get to a 90 overall. Come on, Lenny. But surely we continue to add trophies. And no, boys, we somehow missed out on the Premier League by 1.2. And we lost in the Community Shield to Tottenham. Wait, don't tell me we're falling off. We lost in the FA Cup final to Liverpool. We've been to every final and lost all of them so far. And in the Carabao Cup, we lost to Sunderland, man. Are you kidding? And in the UEFA Super Cup, we lost to Madrid. We've reached every final and have won a total of 0 trophies. Boys, up next, we have a Champions League final against Bilbao. If we don't win this trophy, Vinicius is the one that gets released. Guys, we cannot lose to Bilbao once again. We cannot lose. Vinicius Jr., please, let's get the victory again. And it's back-to-back losses against Bilbao in the UCL final. These are all the goal scorers for Bilbao, but we're losing Vinicius, man. And I cannot believe this, man. 94 overall, 32 years old, Vinicius Jr., 2-time Ballon d'Or winner, by the way, is now released from the club. And it does not help that Erling Haaland has won the Ballon d'Or. So now with 2 seasons left to go, we have 22 trophies, about to hit elite. But I don't think we hit up the world's best. And we are now in season number 9, and of course, we must replace Vinicius Jr. However, instead of signing somebody, I have been sending out a specific somebody out on loan, and that is Chido Obi. He is now at an 86 overall. I'm gonna go ahead and give him a test in the starting 11. If he does not perform well in the last season, we'll sign an amazing superstar. So let's go ahead and give Chido Obi the poacher development plan and see how we do this season. And it seems like Chido Obi has passed the test, becoming our top goal scorer with 24. But it was a low goal scoring season for the entire club here at United. And yes, Lenny Euro has finally hit a 90 overall, but Kobe Mainu has gone down by 1, and Chido Obi is 1 away from that 90. Surprisingly, Chido Obi wins the golden boot. That's our 23rd trophy. But we also win the Premier League. That makes it 24. But we failed to win the FA Cup as Chelsea win it. And we lost in the final of the Carabao Cup to Bournemouth. And in the Champions League, we did not make the final as we lost in the semis to Liverpool. And sadly, that Real Madrid striker won the Ballon d'Or once again, which thus leaves us with 24 trophies with 1 season left to go. But we're still yet to win the treble. And to be honest, I don't think I'm gonna make any more signings. So let's go ahead and go to the end of the final season and see if we can win the treble and get to the elite club tier. And what? Amad Diallo has won the golden boot in 29 appearances. I'll take the extra trophy. That does mean we have hit 25 and we're now an elite club. I don't think it's possible to get to world's best. And what is going on, man? 41 goals and 10 assists for Amad Diallo. Remember, he's playing right back. But Baltimade, Chido Obi all had great seasons as well. And this is the look of the final squad of this 10th season takeover. Make sure to comment down below who was your favorite player. And yes, we have won the Premier League again. We've also won the Community Shield. And we also win the FA Cup. That means the treble is on. As we also add the Carabao Cup to our list. And wait a minute, boys, we do have 28 trophies. And if we win the Champions League and have another Ballon d'Or winner, Man United will reach the world's best and by default be the #1 goal of all clubs because it's the only takeover we've done. But the question is, are we in the Champions League final? And yes, we are, but it's against Real Madrid. And this is the Real Madrid team stats. A lot of players from the academy, but Bellingham and Esteval are playing for them as well. There is one club away from winning the treble and possibly becoming a GOAT tier side as of right now. Can we go ahead and do it? And it's a 1-1 draw, but we win on pens. As Amad Diallo wins the Ballon d'Or, which means we achieved 30 trophies, becoming the world's best. And currently, United are the GOATed club. Who should we do next? If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to click on the screen and watch me replay the entire career of Cristiano Ronaldo.